Hey guys, for the vlog this week, I wanted to talk about student retention for gyms. And we got into a discussion this week when we had some new guys come out, and actually one of my colleagues and my grappling instructor, Simon, has been trying at a new gym. He's been going to a BJJ gym to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so he can bring it back and show us, I hope. Essentially what we got started discussing was the idea of student retention and how different gyms go about it. Some gyms will focus on their incoming students and will focus on the new guys, which is actually, I like to say, how we go about it, either through the Wing Chun program that I'm in or the JKD program that I'm in. When there's new guys, we will focus on starting to get them up to speed before the senior guys will be split off and like new techniques will be tried, right? That way, your new students interact with your senior students and start learning from them as well as you. It's a pretty good way to get people caught up quicker and hopefully get them started and feeling more confident about their system. The other idea is that you focus on your seniors. So in the BJJ school that Simon's been training at, he was saying that basically when you walk in, the first hour is like, here's one throw. Focus on that throw and they'll try to make it so you get it right, keep doing it and keep doing it correctly, little bits, and then the last hour is just sparring. Which for BJJ is rolling and control and practicing transitions, right? That's how they do it. So rather than just doing straight up drills for that fact, they're doing a sparring energy, which is more, I guess, more beneficial to more senior students. Whereas for new students, you're gonna have issues figuring out where to go. So there's just places that you've never been before, so you don't know what options are available to you. So that's kind of interesting. So basically we're looking at some students where, there's some issues where like students that are more senior start feeling like they're not getting addressed enough in the first method, so maybe they don't want to hang out as often because they feel like they're not learning so much as they're teaching. Whereas obviously by teaching you can learn quite a bit about your understanding of these techniques, but I guess that reaches a point where eventually you do need to start looking at heavily like senior skill level oriented classes. And then there's the other side of that coin where all these new guys are coming in, they have no idea what is going on, and it's like, you really expect them to return week after week not knowing anything of what's happening and just feeling like a big tool the whole time, right? It's a really interesting conversation because I'm not sure that there is any way to kind of balance that. I think either one side of the coin or the other is always going to feel a little kind of underappreciated given the situation. I mean, in my experience, I actually quite like training with you guys because I find that I start focusing very heavily on the structure and the form and doing everything correctly, rather on picking up something new. I'm trying to perfect something I already know. So for me, it's not an issue, and I like to try to pick out what they're doing wrong, because that also helps me learn how to attack their mistakes. Because if you can see it and you can see it quickly and you know what you're looking for, then in a fight you can see somebody's always making that mistake, or they make that mistake often, and then you can figure out how to exploit that. And I feel like that's a really great way to go too. So I mean, that's obviously everyone has their opinions on it. So if you could post back and maybe discuss, that'd be fantastic. And if like the last several weeks nobody posts, that's fine too. So this weekend I also went to the Toronto, I think it's actually the Canadian Knife Makers Guild show, and I bought this little file knife that was set up, kind of nice little piece. I originally had bought it for myself, but then it turns out that my girlfriend actually quite enjoys it, so I've given it to her. It's not too often that she likes knives, so I figured I should try to spur that on. The one thing I like about this one is that it's not asymmetrical. It's actually a little lopsided, but it has a nice feel to it, and it fits very well in the palm of your hand. It's got a lot of nice little texture work on it that I believe was already there. It was probably already on the pry bar or the file that they used to make this knife with. So again, they probably won't be taking, the credit for all this like little work. However, it is quite nice and looks really cool. So yeah, that's one of the things I picked up. I also got a couple of bars of stock, just huge 36-inch bars of 440C stainless steel and some 1095 high carbon steel. I don't know if I can make swords out of either of those pieces. The stainless steel I obviously wouldn't try, but the carbon steel, I was thinking maybe. It'd be long. I could make some more. You know what? No, I'm not gonna make any swords yet. I don't feel like I've got far enough along in my knife making to really start branching that out into larger projects without that failing miserably for me. Especially not with pieces that are this thin. So I'm not having to see. But it was a good haul. It was actually a really interesting thing to go and see a bunch of knife makers and a lot of guys that do it like themselves in their apartments and in their houses, in their workshops, in their sheds, in their garages, all sorts of weird places where they set up, and talking to them about how they configure their shop and what they use and how they get different angles and shapes and designs on the steel itself. It was a really interesting experience. So if you have anything to say about this, please contact me either in the comment section, or you can post a video of your own in response. That'd be kind of cool. Regardless, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have something cool for you next week. We'll see. Cheers, guys.